PJNet Live Part 2 with Del Didway, who is standing by in our green room. The bumper is rolling. We'll be switching to studio number 6 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to PJNet Live, the second half, the third quarter, and it will be every bit as good as quarters 1 and 2. Welcome, Megan, and her mom was in here earlier, Felicia, to our chat room. And all others, if you are watching this on Facebook, or if you're watching this on Twitter, we just recently began streaming live to those platforms as well. We're glad that you are a part of PJNet Live too, together with our chat room with Hazards 4, Megan, Rachel, and Sunbelt Girl. Glad to see everybody. But you all did not come here to see me. You came here to see Elvis, and there he is in the flesh.
Yeah.
Del, it has been a week since we talked, but last time we spoke, you were going to take some downtime. You were going to take a couple days off, and it looks like you and your wife did exactly that.
Yeah, we did. Anyway, I checked something off my bucket list, and which was a good time. And it's just fun to write a fun blog. I mean, some of my blogs can get kind of serious, and they can get somewhat controversial at times. So it was kind of refreshing to write a fun one, I think. So, and just to recap, and I really didn't plan on it. It just kind of hit me in the airport, waiting on a flight home. I thought I'll just blog about Graceland. So. Because I found it fascinating, and we had a good time, and that's an amazing place. Even if you don't like Elvis or his music, I think everybody needs to go there.
Elvis is bigger than life for most people. I think if you ask most people, where were you when it was announced that Elvis died? I remember exactly who I was with and where I was, and he was such a profound influence on a generation.
Yeah, I was going out to football practice. I had all my pads on and walked out, and the coach came up and canceled practice. Actually, he was that distraught. He said, "Go home, boys. Elvis died." And we thought, "What?" So we didn't have football practice. So that's where I was, and it's an amazing story that man has been dead 42 years, still brings that many people to his home to walk through and to look, and it's an amazing feat because that Graceland's been open for 30 years. You got 700,000 people come through there every year. Right now, that's 21 million people have walked through that home, and give or take a few thousand. So it's the second most visited private home in the United States. Behind what is your guess?
I was going to say where, huh?
It's the second most visited private home.
I don't know. I was just honored to go where the home where they filmed the movie Dallas. It doesn't look near as impressive in real life. It does.
No. So it's behind only to the White House. More people
that's a residence. Yeah, that's a residence. Yeah,
that is a private home. So not a lot of people realize that.
And they're going to start paying rent.
Yeah, no. So it was just an amazing time. Great. That complex across the street is tremendously enormous. 200,000 square feet of exhibit halls and memorabilia, and you name it, is there. So we had a nice time of relaxing. And got to check off a bucket list and write something fun and entertaining for a while.
I think when I reflect back on some of the icons in the music industry that I grew up with, Elvis is the most honorable.
I think so. And, in the circumstances around his death, I mean, he's not a perfect guy. Obviously, he had his faults and he had his problems, like everybody does. But singers back then. I found it refreshing to go back and listen to some of these old concerts, which I do. Elvis traditionally had either gospel music in his concerts, something to do with America, some patriotic song, and now you got goofballs up there boycotting the United States and singing against us. So, back then, Johnny Cash always sang he was kind of a rebel, but he
You might say.
sang patriotic. He sang songs that uplifted America, and that's amazing. Entertainers today are they stink. I just put it mildly. They stink. There's nobody to look to. Billy Joel's getting up there. He's kind of getting ready to pass the torch, but I don't look to anybody and say, hey, this person did it like Elvis did. I mean, it don't have to be that big, but following those footsteps, he wasn't controversial. He kept his political opinions to himself.
He sure did.
And because they asked him about that one time, he said,
I
"Hey,
know.
I'm
an entertainer. I remember that.
I'm an entertainer.
I remember it.
And got my Graceland mug. So
Good for
yeah,
you.
and we were able to go to Sun Studio and tour that, and that is still a functioning studio. And we saw and sat. My Angie sat at the piano where the $1 Million Quartet performed, and on that same piano that Jerry Lee and Elvis played. So it was really just something to see. Beale Street down in Memphis was just a condensed version of Bourbon Street. We had a lot of fun, a lot of good food down there. I mean, we had some good ribs.
Yeah, I was going to say, I visited Memphis once, and I didn't know Memphis was famous for barbecue,
Oh my!
but I do now.
Yeah, we had two different styles. We went to BB King's joint on the first night and heard some good blues and good jazz, and ate the what's called the lip smacking, fall off the bone ribs. And boy, if you just breathed on them, they fell off, which was amazing. That was so good. Then the next night we went down to Rendezvous, which is a dry rub, which is a completely different style of ribs. The night before they fell off the bone, and with the dry rib, you gotta work it off. But they're still good.
You're going to have to go on a diet, bud.
Well, I have been, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we did eat good down there. So
All right, so this was recreational for you, pure, no business.
that was the intent, but it did turn into some business. Yes,
Uh-huh.
that was unavoidable. But it's something that's kind of good and exciting. Didn't see this coming, but we had to take care of some business down there, and had a couple of phone calls we had to deal with, which is kind of exciting. Kyle threw something in my lap last week because I was going to take like a month off.
You need something to do.
And not write.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was going to take about a month off of writing because I submitted my last manuscript about 2 weeks ago. My next mine's not due until like March.
Oh.
So I'm going to take about a month. It's
Yeah.
been
Mm-hmm.
month or two
Regroup.
off. But no, I don't have time for that now. I have another project I could say no, I guess, but I don't know yet. I haven't made it the fully decision yet on it, but
You're going to say yes.
exciting.
You're going to say
It's exciting, and I was talking to Kyle today about it, and we're trying to work some details out that I could help a very well-known author finish a manuscript.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be a good opportunity for me. It could be a good opportunity to get exposed to a bigger publisher, but we're gonna wait and see how what we talk about tomorrow. So tomorrow's a new day, and we'll set to see what happens. So
Okay.
it'd be hard to say no. Be hard to say no.
You're not going to say no, Jill. It's not going to happen. No. As long as it doesn't, well, I would say no if it interferes with your Friday night football.
It will not interfere with that. No.
Oh, okay.
We're doing that again this Friday. Got 4 games left, and a lot of fun. I missed last game because I was in Memphis, but we got to that place. I tell you what, it was just amazing. We walked across the street to the it was called Elvis Presley's Memphis, which is just this building after building of memorabilia. He had all of his planes were there. You had the big Convair 880 that he bought from Delta Airlines in 1970 for $250,000,
Mm-hmm.
and renovated it for $600,000. We got to walk through that. That's a 129-foot aircraft. That's a big jet. It's called the Lisa Marie, obviously, nicknamed Hound Dog 1. The generosity when we walked through. Yeah, I always knew he was a generous man and gave back. But to see some of the checks that were on display there that he had written, to like St. Jude Hospital and
Okay.
to Bob Hope's USO tours, and was just obviously very generous man.
Well, based on my study of the demographics of the people who watch this content, I probably don't have to say what I'm about to say. Folks, there was a day when you wrote checks. There was no such thing as a credit card. And you would literally write a check, and when you filled in the amount, it was in cursive. Remember cursive?
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, it was a good opportunity for me to write a fun blog and not really belabor a point and not try to. But yeah, I always try to. I mean, the point of this blog is, this guy had a legacy that 21 million people have walked through his house. So you and I are not going to reach that fame, and nor I don't think I want to. But it's important what people think of you. So obviously, this man was well loved and well thought of, to where 700,000 people are going to show up this year to his home. So the point is, do the right thing, be generous, be humble, serve God, serve your country. If you don't have anything good to say, just shut up. Just keep your mouth shut and be positive. There's a time to be bold and there's time to be stubborn, but for the most part, just I always tell people, I'll give you my opinion if I'm asked, and if I'm asked, just be ready for it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's a lot of my blogs come that way. I get a lot of requests. How do you one of them was you several months ago. You said, what's your thoughts on the death penalty?
Yeah,
So
we never have had that debate, have we?
Oh no, but that's fun. But I can have a fun debate with anybody.
Yeah.
So I wrote that piece and had a lot of play on it. So how can a Christian also be pro death penalty?
Yeah.
So, and I am. So I believe that. So it's all in fun.
One of the things that amazes me about Elvis in particular, as a cultural icon, he introduced a new style of music that, of course, was controversial at the time. But he stuck with it, and many artists kind of, if they introduce something new, it's a passing fad. They may enjoy a lot of fame and fortune, but it comes and goes. Elvis's music has survived the test of time. It's still good.
Well, he has his own station. I mean, Sirius XM has the Elvis Presley channel. It's all 24 hours of Elvis Presley all the time. Channel 18 or 19. So it's on my dial. It's been up for about, I think, 5 or 6 years.
The other, I guess we can do some Elvis trivia, and you probably know much more than I do. Every artist, has some failure on the stage. Elvis Presley, his voice never let him down.
No, it was an amazing voice from he could sing opera, he could sing country, he could sing bluegrass, he could sing gospel, rhythm and blues, rock and roll, ballads, you name it, he could sing it, and he did it well. So, and I'll throw out some trivia, and it was in my blog, but I'm not going to test you on it. He won 3 Grammys, and they were all in the same genre. Do you know what it was?
No.
The 3 Grammys he won only were in gospel.
Is that right?
And 2 of them were for the same song. He won 2 Grammys for the song "How Great Thou Art." One was the recorded version, and one was a live version.
That's crazy. That's
yeah.
Here's a piece of trivia. Elvis Presley never performed outside of the USA.
Right, live, no, and he never gave an encore, and which was kind of, a lot of folks didn't know that he never did an encore performance. When he went off stage, he left the building, so to speak. So, but yeah, we had a wonderful time, learned a lot, saw a lot, had some good food, relaxed, which I needed to do because I wrote a piece last week that was kind of hard hitting and had a lot of response on it for our local newspaper, and it's kind of good to get away.
I say you need to mend up. It's like football teams need that bye week. And
well, the Bengals, the Bengals need like 6 of them, I think.
Well, they're not nicked up. They haven't been in battle, or actually they have. They've been mopped up. I mean, boy.
we were down there Sunday. I tell you what, it was bad. It was bad. So.
Yeah, you're probably gonna have to drop your book to half price to get anybody interested in Bengals.
That, or I think they're really going to go for it because it's a devotional and
it's a
I
remedy,
think, know,
a potion.
Yeah, the Bengals need prayer right now. So that's doing well. It just came out last week, so it launched last week. So we're trying to push that all we can, a little bit here and there. But yeah, you're right. Cincinnati, they're not in the praying mood right now, I don't think.
Yeah, they need prayer, but I love football, but more importantly, I love what you're doing. You're finding those figures. We're talking about how Elvis was such an iconic, literally driving the culture, and he didn't let us down. He stood for things that were good and wholesome, for the most part, and but.
Yeah.
So many athletes. I remember looking up to Bart Starr and Don Meredith, and Roger Staubach and Johnny Unitas, even Roman Gabriel. His son's a sportscaster now.
Yeah, hold on a second. I'll show you something. Let me call this up real quick here.
This is live, folks. There's no script. Do you really think we can see
Roman
that?
Gabriel's. Oh, now I got Roman Gabriel's cell phone right there showing you.
Okay. Now that's his son.
I saw that.
His son,
no,
right?
Yeah.
His son.
So, Roman. Yeah.
Is Roman himself still? Good. Still living.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, when he was playing, the defensive tight end was Jack Youngblood.
Yeah.
Remember Jack Youngblood? Awesome. The fearsome foursome?
Played, but yes.
You know where Jack Youngblood was from?
I don't know that. No, I don't know where it was from.
Monticello, Florida. He lived about a quarter of a mile that way. His mom worked with my dad. He would not have gotten a scholarship at the University of Florida if it weren't for Dude Bishop. He went down there as a kicker. Dude Bishop was a superintendent of schools here for as long as he lived, and he ran everything. And he arranged for Jack Youngblood to go to Florida because he was a Gator, big time Gator.
Okay.
So, yeah.
We were down at the game Sunday and was able to get with one of the gentlemen who's in the book, who's in First Down Devotions. Clinton McDonald was there Sunday playing with the Cardinals. When I interviewed him, he was with the Raiders, and he looks like the scariest man in the world, but he is really a soft-spoken gentleman, and I think I put a tweet out today about it. We got a little picture together with the book, and he gave him a copy, and he sent me a message that he really liked it, and so we did a little picture. But he's really his chapter is chapter 7, just a really inspirational story about some of the obstacles he had to overcome and how he leaned back on his faith. And he's not a very smiley man, but he's a gentle giant, and he's a really good guy to talk to.
Well, I'm glad you are finding those heroes of wholesome things that are good, and things of faith, because so many of these. The word that comes to mind is a cuss word, so I'll refrain.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, they are using their platform for self-aggrandizement. They're using it to promote causes that are not very American. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, and if they want to do it on their own time, that's fine. But folks are paying a lot of money to go see a football game. They don't want politics down there. They don't want to hear their political views or their views on social issues, which everybody has them, and that's great. But there's a time and place for it, and on the field is not it.
Yeah.
So if they want to make their crazy statements, that's their right, and the men and women die for that right.
Mm-hmm.
But they shouldn't do it there.
Right. Yeah, I just love football.
Yeah, that's what people want to see. You want to see football, and if you disagree with America and the country that allows you to make a fortune to play a game, and you can't honor that country, then you probably need to entertain ideas of going somewhere else.
Yeah, go to that great country. Yeah.
Because when there were rumors circulating when Roethlisberger went down a couple of weeks ago. He's out for the season, and of course Becky Lindsay's a big Steelers fan, so we were
hello. Well, she's here. Yeah, she's
here. Yeah. And so I said, I don't know what's going to happen. Here's some alternatives. Here's some people who might be in the mix. Where the quarterback got knocked out against last week. So Michael Vick was circulated as a potential, and there were a lot of stories about Kaepernick, and I thought there's no way he'd fit in Pittsburgh. There's no, that's a blue collar America loving town.
Pittsburgh's a great town. I have visited there just to watch the Steelers. I'd go once a year. But let me tell you, those people, they are a breed apart. I mean, it's don't mess with them.
No, they love their football. They love their NASCAR. They love their steel.
They love the Penguins. They love
Yeah. So. So that's not a town he would want to go in. I don't think he's going to hire that guy.
In fact, I think he should go there. Come think of it,
it would be fun. So
anyway,
we'll see,
all right. Well, Dale, we're out of time. Great to have some time off and just relax and have some fun. I've enjoyed chatting with you tonight, and I know that the people in the chat room have too. Let's just quickly acknowledge Becky Lindsay's here, and Hazards 4 here. Rachel is here. Sunbelt Girl Tammy from Georgia. And we've had some others come and go that I'd have to scroll back to find. But, folks, we are having a blast here on PJNet Live, and we appreciate you being a part of it, Dale. And we'll see about this time next week, something like that. Yeah,
next week I'll be coming to you from a hotel in Columbus, Ohio. So we'll have to make sure our connection's good.
All right, we'll make it happen.
We'll talk to you next week.
All right, folks, that was the second half of PJNet Live. And let me look into the future. My producer, Sunbelt Girl, in the chat room, had to remind me, you need to make a little calendar thingy. So I've got it written down now. We will have 2 guests tomorrow night, and Penelope K. Will be up at 9 p.m. Eastern with her story. It'll be her first time here. And then, of course, our regularly appearing Michelle Medlock Adams will be here, as she is on every Wednesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Folks, what PJNet Live is about ordinary people sharing their walk with Christ and sharing their lives in an encouraging and uplifting atmosphere. And I'm proud to be doing this, and I am proud of all of you for being a part of it. So we'll turn it over to our video host as PJNet Live continues.